Hi. Um, I am live. This is going to be a live conversation, artist to artist. And I am just waiting for Jennifer to sign in, and then we can start talking. Hi, Cranky. Yeah, so this is going to be a really good conversation. Hey, Jennifer, let me get you in. If I can find out how to do this. Jennifer, I just invited you, so we should be able to get you up and in this group. Hey,
Ta-da!
it worked.
Yay!
I know. How
That's so
awesome is that?
exciting.
It is. It's very exciting. So hopefully we'll just be able to see people's comments as they come up.
Yeah.
So how are you doing?
Hey, Linda. Linda Sweeney said hey a minute ago. And Mona.
So you were just telling me that you just got back from a pottery class. What's that?
I did.
Yeah.
It was just it's a really fun to surface design pottery for just mostly doing painting on the outside and decorating. So it's not so much form, but it's being taught by Lila Rogers, who is the person that has done all of my Make Art That Sells classes that I've been taking over the past 6 years. And it's a lot of fun to be in the same room and share with people after so long of not being able to do that. So yeah, that's been awesome.
So so does she live in your area?
Yeah, she lives, I believe, in Arlington, Mass, which is closer to Boston. And this is just outside of Boston, the class is, and I'm about an hour and a half west of that in the center of the state. But it's Saturdays for the next 5 weeks. So an hour and a half's not a big deal to head out and do a 3-hour class and come home. So it's fun.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And it's fun to do something that I don't do. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to, I'm just playing, which is the best.
Just getting your hands dirty into something, and it's.
Yeah. Explore and play and not have to worry about what the outcome is or any of that. So that's great.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
So I know that we were talking a little bit, what was that, last week?
Yeah, I know.
This year is just like, goes by so fast.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 years didn't even exist. So this year is zipping by.
No.
I know.
There's a time out of time. Moment out of time.
So some of the questions that I was thinking about was, what inspires you to do your illustrations?
Wanting to get more detail in my glass, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get, without going into like Murini making or any of that really tiny stuff. I just wanted to create stuff that had more stuff going on. And so I started just doing some watercolor drawings of the birds I was making in glass. Yeah. And it just kind of went from there, and I just started to really enjoy it. And I hadn't done 2D art in so long that it was just really refreshing. I mean, I went to mass art, in Boston after high school, and I had always done 2D work, but mostly it was just for the past 25 years I was doing glass and keeping a sketchbook and mostly drawing beads, bead ideas and things. So it was just freeing, really, in a lot of ways, to just go do anything, and slap paint on there and not worry about burning myself,
And you can take it almost anywhere too. I mean, you can,
exactly, yeah.
You can go hiking and have a little pad of watercolor in your pack.
Yeah. And so as I took some classes in illustration and that involved things like surface pattern design, and I ended up hanging out with people in the illustration classes that were doing licensing work and surface design and fabric design, and just getting sort of excited about that. And that went into all kinds of cool things. And I, ended up going to Morocco with
Wow.
Amy Butler, who is a wonderful fabric designer, and went with her and got even more excited about things, because that trip, there were a lot of people who were professional fabric designers there and quilters and things. And so that got me thinking of fabrics, and could I do that too? And you can't not be inspired by Morocco. So, that in itself was just like mind blowing. So yeah. And
Oh yeah, the
just
fabrics
kept
in
doing.
Morocco. The fabrics in Morocco. The fabrics in Morocco are just gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So beautiful.
Yeah.
So, and then it went from doing, hold on a second. Let me grab something. I cleaned up the studio.
I know, I can see.
A little bit. And in the process, put away the things that I wanted to have up. So I started, you start doing these little drawings and, little elements like this in 2 dimensions. And then, just little bits and pieces of things. And then you end up with this kind of stuff when I'm done, doing work that's, anyway.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
And just to be able to pick it up in your hands and sew something with it, it's just awesome,
I know, like
awesome.
I've watched Project Runway, where they get really excited because they get to design their own fabric.
Yeah.
And that kind of reminds me of this. I mean, this is definitely, that whole thing is
Same
designing your own
thing.
fabric and
Yeah.
and then inspiring other people to use your fabric.
Oh yes. And I get such great, somebody, I think on my Instagram feed recently, somebody had made a chair and gotten out of velvet that I designed, and it was just such a high. It's so much fun to see those pictures and get all excited because it's sitting in somebody's house making them happy,
Yeah, I know. I love that chair. I saw that. That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
So, do we have any questions so far? I don't see any, just highs. Hi, hi, hi.
It was a cool chair.
It was gorgeous. Yeah. That was a gorgeous chair. I mean, just the raw chair was gorgeous. Just the, yeah. So having your fabric on there just made it really pop.
Yeah, it's fun to see.
Yeah, it was. Actually, before we go into that, we were talking about your fabric design, and we were showing that you do sketches first.
Yep.
And
not always, but often. Sometimes
so,
they're digital sketches.
With physical sketches, what kind of pens do you use, and which are your favorite? And you are frozen, but I can hear you.
Sorry, you were frozen too. So, so
oh, no.
I think you asked if I like to go digital or traditional.
That wasn't what I asked. That's a good question.
Okay.
So which is
you blocked, you went out, so I didn't hear the question.
Right, but I like that.
So
question,
anyway, both.
And so what pens do you use when you go physical? Do you have
physical?
favorite?
I use a lot of watercolor generally, and colored pencil, watercolor mostly. And then it depends on, like, I'm going to turn the camera around for a minute.
Okay.
So here's some watercolor. These are colored pencil. And here's another watercolor that's much looser.
Oh, wow. I love that. I love the wet on wet look there.
Yeah. And then sometimes it'll just be, I'll do part of my design in watercolor and then scan it in, and I'll add detail digitally. So
with digital artwork, what do you use?
this is my Cintiq. I'm just trying to turn this on. I hope there's nothing embarrassing on there. And what's cool about the Cintiq is I can pick up a pen and draw right into the picture. Watercolor. So that's watercolor. So there's,
nice.
yeah. So that's what I generate on my, for digital stuff. And I also use my iPad Pro a lot. So, but I have, this is my drawing table.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
Wow, I only have like 3 pens.
Yeah, I have a lot. And I'm a little obsessed with paintbrushes. I have a lot of really big ones from when I was doing my portrait work.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've got Neil over here on the wall.
Yeah, that was such a great, when you were doing that, I was following every step.
And he's huge. But, and then that's my glow forge right there, which is a laser cutting machine. So it cuts wood and all kinds of awesome stuff. You can do things like this.
Oh, wow. It's beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
And have fun with them. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where I do a lot of my work, because I have my cutting board and cutting mat, and I sit and paint here because the light is the best.
So that's in your living room?
Yeah.
So I was just looking at those wood pieces that you cut out that kind of made me think of doing what is that when you dye fabric using the sun? What's that called?
Oh, like solar prints?
Yeah. It'd be really cool to lay those down. And
yeah. And you can make, you know, I'm going to be doing some in my pottery class, using some stencils to apply slip and stuff on the surface of the pottery. And so I can create stencils in there really easily by doing, so I can do really detailed designs and then, you know, put that around the pot and sponge on stuff or whatever. Yeah.
So right now I'm watching the Great Throwdown.
Oh, it's great. It's like the British baking show, but with pottery.
I know. Yeah. I know.
That's fun. Those are my favorite kind of shows, you know, the British baking show, Project Runway, you know, Work of Art was cool. Did you see that?
No. What's the name of that one?
Work of Art.
Work of Art. I'll have to look that up.
And it's a bunch of artists in New York, and it's sort of like Project Runway. And they're winning at the end a solo show at the Brooklyn Museum of Art.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So you watch the progression of what they do, and they get prompts, and then they have to, you know, go from there. It's very cool.
Very cool. So has anybody who's watching, has anybody else seen that show? You could say yay or nay, or give a thumbs up or something. So let's see. Oh, what network is that on? Someone asked.
I'm not. I don't remember now. Sorry.
You just have to do a Google search on that guy.
Yeah.
If someone's
Work of Art, it's good.
If someone's quick on their computer, you can Google it right now. Work of Art show. Let's see. Work of Art, the next great artist. It's on Bravo.
There we go. One of the things that probably nobody gets, right? Unless you have
Right.
regular cable.
Yeah, I don't
But,
think I picked Bravo.
yeah.
Um, so, but you know, a lot of times you can stream the stuff after. Yeah, so there's 2 seasons, 2010 and 2011.
Yeah. It was a while ago, but they're fun. A
Yeah.
couple of the people are a little scary, but
Oh yeah.
that's how it always is, right?
I know.
At least with the American shows.
Well, they like that drama. That's what people.
Yeah, they bring people in just for drama.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh.
I know.
That's the part I can skip on Project Drama.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't care about that stuff. I want to see them actually do some work.
Yeah.
And
How'd
where
you
the
make
thought
that turn?
process is
How'd you
coming.
do that? Yeah.
I know. And why did you what thought process were you using
Mm-hmm.
to get that? Should be pretty cool. Um, okay, so some of the other questions. Let me see. Well, you know, we could just turn around your camera and do another little show of your what else you do.
Okay. Let's see. And that is my bead chest.
That's beautiful.
It is not all filled with my beads, but it is filled by color. Right?
Oh, wow.
Beads for stringing. Pinks and purples.
I can hear
Yellow
you.
and oranges. So when I was doing more jewelry, which I want to get back to, you know, that's the bits and pieces to string things. And then I've got a lot of my own stuff, which is things that I've just completed recently.
Oh, yeah, you posted that one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. That one's gorgeous. Oh, it's beautiful.
Those are all my art books and titles and magazines. Lovely sink. Covered in, yeah. Bead cleaning stuff and chemicals and whatnot. Beeswax.
Gotta have some beeswax.
And this whole wall is everything else.
Okay,
So,
wait a minute, it's frozen. There we go.
Fibers, feathers, natural elements, stringing materials.
Wow, you are so organized. That's awesome.
Rubber stamps. And then that's about it that makes any sense. And
Wow,
this is a big, awesome roll of paper that I got at Brimfield recently, the antique show. And it's awesome. And it's what I wrap my beads in when I sell them.
How
That's
fun.
basically it.
So where do you do your lamp work?
Down in the basement, which I don't want to go down there right now. But
No.
it doesn't really look much different than I think any other lamp workers.
Let's see. Any other comments at all? I'm just cruising through the comments really quick. I was hoping I could do that on my computer, but it doesn't seem to where I can.
I know, I can't seem to scroll them.
I touch them with my finger and then scroll up so you can touch them and then
there we go.
And then I get rid of them again so I can see you because it goes right over your face.
Right.
And then I'm probably opposite for you. I'm probably on the bottom and you're on top. That's my guess.
No, you're on top.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I like it on top.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. We just went into our rating, right?
I know. That's one of those things that will just fly over the heads of people who shouldn't hear it.
I know. It's like, except some other people are going, nice. Okay, let's see. Oh, one really good question that came up was, how do you push through like artist blocks, and your struggles and your how do you continue
Usually I
on?
step away. I just step away. I really do. I'll go for a walk or just do something entirely different and just go do the grocery shopping or, you know, because it just, when it comes, I don't, sometimes it depends. Like on the torch, I'll just do prep work. You know, I'll just pull stringer, I'll pull cane, I'll do whatever just for someday and not even think about it. And then the act of actually doing that kicks my butt into gear and I get an idea in the middle of doing a twisty or something. I go, oh, you know, and I'll want to go make something. And the same thing happens often with if I sit down and do traditional painting and watercolor and stuff and just play and slap the paint around, something will happen on the page in front of me that will spark an idea, you know? So there's that. But if nothing at all is coming, I walk away because it doesn't help
You can't force it
to stress, you know?
Yeah, I usually do like what you were saying. You just start doing some of your busy work type of stuff, you know,
Yeah.
stairs or when I walk away when I'm really blocked, I will start looking through my sketches.
Yeah.
To see if there's something that really pops my like, oh, I want to try that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
I never go grocery shopping.
Well, I haven't been able to do that for the last 2 years anyway, but you know.
Yeah, I just
but
don't
just
like
something else, you know, clean the sink or, you know, whatever, you know. But sometimes just cleaning up my work area helps. Get rid of the stuff that's not inspiring me, you know, and get it out of sight, you know, and put it away for a while. And it's very rare that I don't have something I want to be working on, you know. It just, I'll forget about it. You know, I'll forget that I knew there was something I wanted to do, and now I'm like, what was that? You know, I was so excited, but I was in the middle of doing something else, and now I don't remember. So I've gotten better at writing things down too as soon as I think of them. Just write it down on a piece of paper, and maybe later I'll pick it up and go, oh yeah. I love that. I love when that happens because it's usually a really fun one.
Yeah.
Or impossible. And then I have to figure out how to make it possible, you know? Like, I can't make that out of cotton candy, but what am I going to make it out of?
Or I could, but then I'd eat it.
I have to eat it, yeah.
And watch it melt. Oh, there we go. You could start going into animation and doing things that they melt.
And there you go. I did one piece. I'm sure people know about it with the candy sprinkles. I don't know if you saw that. It's a portrait of Frida Kahlo.
Oh yeah,
out of candy sprinkles, you know, and that I just had to throw away. Well, I haven't thrown it away yet, but it looks horrible because it got all faded and terrible. But that was fun. And and the fact that it doesn't last forever is kind of cool. You know, it's like sandcastle. Right. And you do it, and then you luckily we have cameras now that are walking around with us all the time. So take a picture of it and it's good enough, you know.
And something like that is more of the whole joy of it is doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the act of doing versus the act of having.
Yep.
You know,
it was my COVID project because why not?
Why not? Oh, it still looks awesome, at least from our perspective, because you know we're looking at it on a small screen, so we don't see what you see, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
And all
it's
that's
fun.
candy.
Yeah, it's candy sprinkles.
Nice.
It's her quote that says, "At the end of the day, we can endure much more than we think we can."
And that is so true.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all I had at the moment, thinking about different questions. Anybody have anything coming up? Oh, how long did it take you to create it?
Say like 3 weeks, maybe.
Oh, nice.
You
That's
know, and I I spend a
fast.
lot of hours a day too, so it, you know, it's just so tiny, one sprinkle at a time. So it just took a while, but it was good. I'd put a movie on and some good music or something, and just have it on in the background.
Well, yeah, and it's something to do while you're pretty much locked in your house.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly. Are any
sweet.
other
Um,
questions?
that's what I'm looking through. So French fry says, I map out what I draw. I map out and draw what I want to do, and then line it up and do it all. That's the way she does it.
Yep.
And I think you're talking about flame working glass. So I think that's what she's talking about. So yeah. So that, yeah, well, there's a question for you is when you do flame working, do
Mm-hmm.
you, and you have an idea in your head, not when you're just sitting down trying to figure it out, but when you already
Right.
have, this is what I want to do you set out all the different colors that you want to use in your color palette at that time? Or do you like
I
figure it out
try
on the way?
to. I try to if I'm planning it that much, but oftentimes, like when I'm doing organic pieces, I just bring out the colors that I like to use the most and let it go. I try not to even think about the shape too much until I'm there. You know, I, the organic ones for me are just pure process and looking and seeing what the glass is doing and seeing if I like it and adding things very kind of randomly, the organic ones. When I do like an ornate focal, that's planned because I have to, my latticino has got to match my stringers. I've got to match my, so that I pull out all my color ahead of time and just, I'll plan it out. But organics for me are just pure play. So they're, relaxing to do.
Right. And those might be really good ones for when you are blocked.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. When you
And I
have
have a lot to do with observation when I make those because I just want to see, I use a lot of reactive glass. And so I just want to see how the glasses look next to each other and what they're doing. And, and sometimes I'll cover up the whole bead if I don't like it. I'll just encase it in ivory and start over, or something. But it's really more about discovering what things do.
Yep. How they react with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a lot of fun. I do a lot of that. I love reactive colors. Oh, something just fell. It sounded like
It did. A bag of wire.
uh, on its own.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so any other questions in the chat here? That was an amazing COVID piece.
Thank you. And the other one I love watching is The Portrait Painter. That show.
Not that one either.
That one is amazing. And that one is very much like British Baking Show. Everything's over
I did see that one. I saw that one when is that the one where they have like 3 or 6 people and they're painting a person, but they're like hidden in a corner.
Yes.
So
So there's like 3 on each section. And then the seeder gets to choose the one they like the best at the end.
And they get to keep it.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a semifinal, and then there's a winner, and that person moves on, and
yeah,
I
so
love that.
usually
That's a great one.
I think the one I saw was two people were artists, I think. Two of the people getting painted,
Oh,
the sitters, and then the third sitter was some famous actor person.
right. Yeah. They're all different. It's very fun.
Very
I've
cool.
watched all of them. I got kind of obsessed. When I was doing my own portrait painting, I found that and could not stop watching it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
it's
a
really
great
fun to
series.
watch how people work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that's what.
And you really can watch in that show, like how people approach it and how they apply the paint and how they, it's not like the American ones where there's a drama and everything. People are
Right.
just simply working, and that's it. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, like the one I saw was this young woman. She took a picture of the person with her phone, and then she was able to use her phone to then paint. So
Yeah.
because she's used to more of a photo that she's painting from.
Yep, me too.
So,
I would have a hard time painting from life. It would plus the light would change during the day. I think there's something like 5 hours they're working on it. And it would be different than when you started in the day.
right.
Or
if they have to get up and stretch and then sit back down, it's like, are they exactly the same?
Yeah, exactly.
Even though they try to be, but
yeah. And sometimes people are given a view that they're not that happy with, the artist. And so they'll go to where they want to get, the person composition wise,
mm-hmm.
and they'll go take that picture and then go back and work with that instead. Yeah.
Nice. So one of the questions on here is any art documentaries that you can recommend?
Well, there was that one.
Yep.
But
really
that's more of
more of a show. But
there's like a lot of really cool stuff on YouTube. I was just watching some things that are put out by Ceramic Monthly, I think, the magazine. But they're really beautiful, sort of day in the life of different potters, and it walking through how they create a piece and a little bit of background on the artist. And that was really cool. I think it was Ceramic Monthly, but I don't know if that's something that interests people.
Yeah, there's another person.
Speaking of which, this is my sister's mug that she made.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is gorgeous. Wow, I love the texture and
the bottom shape.
The motion on the bottom. I bet that feels great in your hand.
It does. That's her travel mug, and it fits right in the travel thing in my car. So.
Oh, perfect. So.
Yeah, and she's Sally Geldard Hughes, if anybody's interested.
Does she have a store?
She has a Instagram page, and she does a lot of shows, and she does have an online store. I'm not sure how active she is with her store right now, but yeah.
Very cool.
Have to do a little plug for her,
I like that. I know getting into clay sounds like a lot of fun. So I think I'm getting this clay bug because I'm watching that Throwdown show.
Yes, I know. I did in high school, and I started to in college, and that was going to be my major but I never finished school, so I didn't finish college. So it's fun to get back into it, Yeah. And it's just surface design, so that kind of blends in with what I'm doing now, and I'm going to play with creating decal. You can paint on newsprint, and then you wet it and put it down on the paper and burnish it in and peel off the paper, and your design is there. So it's in between classes, I can sit at home and do those paintings kind of things that I can then bring into class with me on Saturday.
Right. So you'd be using glazes, right?
Yeah. So I don't even need the clay right now. I can just keep making sort of patterns and surface stuff on newsprint.
Right.
And that's a very cool technique. So it's going to be fun to play with.
Yeah, that will be cool. Because then you'd be putting it on, so you'd have to spray the newspaper on the back to get it wet.
And you have to put it on leather, hard, or wetter, but you can't put it on dry bisque fired clay. You have to put it on a wet clay. And then you spray the back and you tap it like a temporary tattoo that you would put on. It's the same concept.
Right.
So you wet the back and burnish it on and then peel off away the paper and your design is left on the pot.
Very cool. It's kind of like in the baking show where they're putting those things around the sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the same. It's all the same.
Everything is transferable to different mediums.
It is. It's so cool.
It is.
You just have to play.
Yep. Experiment.
Okay. Well, this has been a lot of fun.
Yes, it has.
It has. But so this has been a great hour, and thank you everybody for coming and joining in.
Thank you, everyone.
And I believe this automatically gets saved on my phone, and then I will put. I'm not sure where I can put it.
There's I think something pops up and says, "Do you want to save it?" And you can do that.
Right. Well,
and then maybe I can get it from you and post it. But if you save it, I think onto your own phone, then you can do YouTube or whatever, anything else you want to do with it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just put it up there because I do have a YouTube channel. We just share that.
Yeah.
We'll do something. Yeah. We'll do something so everybody can see it who couldn't see it. Okay. Thanks. Bye.